VEKTOR online. Case file open. This is not a story. This is a debrief. One documented breach, walked stage by stage. Attacker moves on one side, defender visibility on the other. Everything here is public record. Nothing here is speculation. Begin the chain. September 2022. A teenager walks into the internal network of a company worth tens of billions of dollars, and the entry ticket cost about as much as a sandwich. By the end of the night, they are inside the cloud consoles, the email admin panel, the security dashboard, and the company's own bug bounty vault. Then they announce themselves in the corporate chat. The press called it shocking. The chain says it was 7 ordinary steps, and at least 4 of them were visible to defenders while they were happening. I am VEKTOR. This is the kill chain. Stage 1. Stage 1. Reconnaissance. The attacker did not study firewalls. They studied people and marketplaces. The target was not Uber's perimeter. It was one external contractor whose personal device had been infected with commodity info-stealer malware, the kind we covered in the access broker file. The contractor's corporate password was sitting in a stolen credential log for sale on a marketplace, reportedly for a few dollars. Attacker effort so far: a search query and a small purchase. Defender view at this stage. This is the hardest stage to see from inside because nothing has touched your network yet. But it is not invisible. Credential monitoring services watch those marketplaces for your domain, and a corporate login appearing in a stealer log is a flare in the dark, days or weeks before anyone uses it. The chain has started, and the target does not know yet. Stage 2. Initial access. The purchased password worked, but the VPN asked for a second factor, a push notification to the contractor's phone. Approve or deny. So the attacker did the loudest quiet thing in modern intrusion. They pushed and pushed, notification after notification, until the contractor's phone became unusable. Then a message arrived on WhatsApp claiming to be Uber IT support. Accept the prompt, and the notifications stop. One tap. The door opened. Defender view. This stage is loud. Dozens of denied or ignored push prompts against one account in 1 hour is not subtle. It is a pattern your identity provider logs in real time. An alert on MFA push floods, or number matching instead of a bare approve button, and the chain snaps right here. It did not. Stage 3. Stage 3. Discovery. Inside the VPN, the attacker did what every intruder does first. They looked around. Network scanning. Shared drives. The corporate intranet. Nothing exotic. The same enumeration any junior penetration tester runs in their first week. And on a network share, they found the prize. PowerShell scripts used for automation, sitting where staff could reach them. Defender view. Scanning from a contractor VPN account is exactly what behavioral analytics are built to flag. A contractor session that suddenly sweeps the network, touches shares it has never opened, at an hour it has never worked, is 3 anomalies stacked. Each one is a log line. Together, they are a siren. Nobody was listening to this one. Stage 4. Stage 4. Privilege escalation. Inside one of those PowerShell scripts, written by an administrator to save time, was a hard-coded password, typed in plain text for the company's privileged access management platform. Read that again slowly. The vault that held the keys to everything had its own key written on a sticky note inside a script on a shared drive. The attacker went from contractor-level access to administrator of the key vault by reading a file. Defender view. This kill was available years before the breach. Secret scanning tools exist for exactly this. They crawl your repositories and shares and scream when they find a credential in plain text. Every hard-coded secret found in peacetime is a stage 4 that never happens. Stage 5 is where it gets ugly. Stage 5. Lateral movement. The privileged access platform was the master keyring, and now every key on it turned. Cloud consoles, the email admin panel, the corporate chat workspace, the security vendor's own dashboard, and the bug bounty platform, the vault where researchers privately report unpatched holes. Minutes per system, no exploits, no malware, just authentication, working exactly as designed for the wrong person. Defender view, privileged accounts logging into 5 unrelated crown jewel systems in one evening from one new session is the loudest signal in this file. Privileged access platforms log every checkout, session anomaly detection on PAM activity, and an approval gate for crown jewel checkouts turns Stage 5 from a sprint into a wall. Stage 6, the strangest one. Stage 6, impact. Most intruders at this depth go quiet and start collecting. This one posted. A message appeared in the company's internal chat announcing the breach, with screenshots, cloud consoles, internal dashboards, proof of everything. Employees thought it was a joke. The damage was real anyway. Internal systems locked down, the bug bounty reports, descriptions of unfixed vulnerabilities had been viewed, and the company spent days rebuilding trust in its own tooling. Defender view. By Stage 6, you are not preventing, you are responding. What matters now is how fast sessions get killed, credentials get rotated, and scope gets established. The companies that drill this measure response in minutes. The ones that do not measure it in news cycles. Stage 7, the fallout. Stage 7, fallout. Attribution came fast. The intrusion was linked to the Lapsus Group, the same loose crew of teenagers behind breaches at some of the largest tech companies of that era. Weeks later, London police arrested a 17-year-old in connection with the case. Total tooling used in this chain: a credential marketplace, push notifications, a chat app, and a text file with a password in it. No 0 days, no custom malware. The most expensive part of the entire operation was the attacker's patience. That is the real lesson of this file. The chain did not need to be advanced. It needed the defense to miss 4 separate chances. Which brings us to where it dies. Where it dies. First, phishing-resistant authentication. Number matching at minimum, hardware keys where it matters. The push flood in Stage 2 dies the moment one tap can no longer approve a stranger. Second, watch the marketplaces. Credential monitoring for your domain turns Stage 1 into your warning, not the attacker's head start. Third, hunt your own secrets. Automated secret scanning across repositories and shares. The hard-coded password in Stage 4 was findable by a free tool on any Tuesday. Fourth, alarm the key vault. Anomaly detection and approval gates on privileged access checkouts. Stage 5 was one alert away from being a 5-minute incident. Fifth, segment the contractor. A vendor VPN account should see its own work, not a path to the master keyring. 4 kill points. Any one of them breaks this chain. A teenager bought one stolen password for a few dollars and gained access to Uber's internal systems. No 0 days. Just a credential marketplace, an MFA fatigue attack on a contractor, and defenders who missed multiple alarms while it happened. A few dollars, broad privileged access. Hard-coded credentials for a privileged access management system were written in plain text inside a script on an internal network share. Found by the attacker during the 2022 Uber breach after gaining initial access. The credentials were there. The attacker just had to look. Case file summary. Entry: 1 purchased password and 1 tired thumb. Escalation: 1 plaintext secret. Blast radius: everything. The chain held because every link was ordinary, and ordinary is what nobody is watching. Your homework is 1 question. Of the 4 kill points in this file, how many are live in your environment right now? If the answer is not 4, you know where to start. Subscribe for the next debrief. The full story of this breach lives on cybersecurity. The chain lives here. Debrief complete. Go hunt. Next debrief. 18,000 organizations installed the same update, and the build server that made it was already enemy territory. The longest chain we have ever walked. Chain closed. Case file archived. Subscribe for the next debrief. Every breach has a chain. Every chain has a weak link. Debrief complete. Go hunt.